Yeah, so this is something that, also welcome back to another video, by the way, that many people here would seem to be common with, right? So for those of you who know, most of these days these massive YouTubers will always flex their massive mansion or a new car collection or a jet, right? And during that time, people would always assume oh, they're not relatable or some shit. Which I understand why, because let's face it, it's mostly common nowadays to act poor when in reality, and relatable when in reality that you're rich and all this shit, right? So I was, scrolling through Instagram, you know, I looked at a guy called Linus Tech Tips. For those of you who don't know or do know, that he's this massive tech YouTuber, he's worth billions and millions of dollars and all this shit. So I went to his account, right? So, just to see how he does, because I used to watch his content. And then I saw this post. I'll probably put it on screen now. And it's like him looking at a jet. So I thought, okay, that's cool. The guy deserves to buy a jet. And, he's such a massive, successful YouTuber. Obviously, he's going to make a massive purchase. I mean, every YouTuber makes a massive purchase. If you're a Logan Paul fan or a KSR, whatever the fuck, right? So, basically, I went on his channel to see the jet review, and then, obviously, I looked at the title. Now, the title, most people will put like, oh, I bought a car for my dad, I did this, my new first car, I bought my dream house, whatever, right? So, what was weird, on the title it says, I bought a jet, and the best thing is, it costs $0. Now, I looked at that title, and I thought to myself, huh? There's no way you can get a jet for $0. So this has to be some fucking joke, right? Like, this has to be rage bait or like some late April Fool's joke or some shit, right? But no, like, apparently he bought a jet for $0 or some shit. So, instead of watching that video, because I didn't really watch it, because I couldn't be asked, because the guy will obviously talk about his fucking plane and all this shit. I decided to watch August the Duck's video. So if you want to watch his videos, let me know. If you want to watch his videos, I recommend it. Like, this guy goes into detail so much, like, about it, and August the Duck here. And this guy's really good, honestly. Like, subscribe to his channel if you can. Tell him I sent you and all this shit. And yeah, so like, that's pretty much the situation at the moment. So obviously I'm gonna stop talking for a bit, mostly because I know you all would rather have me do this shit. And yeah, so whilst you're here, guys, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Obviously, we're trying to reach 1,000 subs this year before the end of 2026. And yeah, like, without further ado, guys, let's just get into this video.
When I started to explore that one aircraft that I was like, this is shockingly affordable,
Ladies and gentlemen, I have breaking news for you. This might be the first time this has ever happened. A popular influencer who once said that they were against something that they likely thought they would never have the opportunity to experience, something that it's the popular opinion to be against, has now completely changed their mind once they realize that they do, in fact, have the funds to experience that thing. Have we ever seen this? Ladies and gentlemen, finally, some good YouTuber drama. I feel like it's been a while since anything juicy yet still fun to talk about has come across my desk. Seems like most of the things we've talked about involving YouTubers recently has not really so much so been drama, but instead just horrible or depressing shit. So, nice change of pace. Recently, Linus Tech Tips, one of the biggest tech YouTubers on the planet, has recently found himself in a bit of hot water because he bought a private jet. And a lot of his audience is not super happy. Now, if you've been keeping up with Linus and how the internet has sort of been viewing him recently, you might already understand why that might be. But if you don't, there's some extra context that you should know. I'll try and fill you in real quick. This video is mainly going to be focusing on Linus's video where he actually reveals the jet because, oh my god, it's just so uniquely bad, even if you don't know any of this shit, but you should still know it. So basically, there seems to be two main things that are fanning this flame, beyond the fact that most people can't really find you all that relatable anymore after you buy a private jet, and also a lot of people just have personal issues with private jet.
Like, another thing is with these YouTubers, like these massive top famous celebrity YouTubers or some shit, right? Like, once you buy something that's expensive, you become less relatable. So, like, let me put it to you in an example, right? Say, like, if I gain like 1 million subscribers, I have 8.5 billion, right? And then I buy I buy a Rolls Royce or like a Rolls Royce. And then I put on YouTube saying, I bought my first Rolls Royce or some shit, right? By the time I post that shit, the amount of people I'll get in the comments saying this guy's not going to be relatable, this guy's out of his mind, his return or investment type shit, like, they won't find you relatable. And that's like the truth, honestly, because once you go against something that people would always tend for you to go against, it's always like this sort of feeling you get, like at the end of the day, it's a massive situation. Like this, like once you do something or buy something, I feel like most of them aren't that relatable anymore. And like, I get it, they work hard, they want to show off their things, but it's like, if you're going to do that, at least do it in the most humbling way, or like just be like, yo guys, bought this, sweet, whatever, move on, right? This motherfucker gave a whole tour of this fucking ass jet. And then it gets fucking worse, honestly, bro. Like, this guy genuinely had no, I don't know if it was his intention or not, but probably is or some shit. But yeah, like, that's what he means by that.
And those two things are, one, Linus is on the record himself saying that he doesn't really agree with private jet usage. Like, for example, he said this about Taylor Swift.
Taylor gets a lot of shit for her private jet use.
Or jet travel, okay, yeah.
Yeah. And I think that there is, personally, I don't fly private. I don't even fly first class. So, I kind of look at private air travel and I'm like, yeah, it doesn't seem great. The sheer amount of fuel consumption. So I have my own thoughts on private travel. I don't feel it's necessary for me in any kind of security way. And I'm not super keen on it. I don't think it's great for the world.
And two, there's a bit of controversy.
Saying that shit and then buying a private jet is crazy. Like, you're really going to sit there and criticize Taylor Swift for, like, buying a jet and then using it to travel to her shows and all this shit, right? Like, I get that. But you ended up buying a jet oh, I'm sorry, a jet that costs nothing because it's a non-disclosed agreement, and then you end up buying a fucking jet. That makes you a hypocrite in some sort of way, doesn't it? Because that's like me saying, "Yo, guys, I'm not, I'm not gonna buy a car because they cause so much emissions to the world and the planet's obviously dying and all this and all that type of shit, right?" And then the next day, when I find out I have the funds, I buy a Lamborghini, and then be like, "Yo, guys, I bought a Lambo for my first thing." Like, it goes against everything that this guy just said. Like, that's all I'm going to tell y'all. Like, this shit, obviously, like, this guy, man, like, I don't know if he's genuinely rage baiting or if this is him being a hypocrite. But, like, let's be honest here, people. Once this shit goes, I guarantee you, like, YouTubers like him are never going to be relatable, bro. Like, what? What comes next? Jerry rigs everything. Is gonna buy, like, another warehouse or some shit. And then people are gonna shit or whatever. But, like, I know what people will be saying. Oh, Mr. Beast buys jets and all of this shit. Yeah, he does. But the difference is, he's literally a multi-billionaire, and he obviously gives stuff away to contestants and families and all this shit. So he does charity stuff, and he gives back to people. Saying that, calling out Taylor Swift for her jet usage and having to end up buying a jet once you find out you have the funds to, means that you are not genuinely going against your word. That's just being a hypocrite. Like, is that just me? Like, what? Like, tell me. Someone tell me in the comments down below. What am I missing from this? Because there is no way.
Employees are paid, with the most famous example coming from a longtime former employee of Linus Tech Tips named Jake Tivy, who publicly left the company and then made a video explaining his decision, with one of the main reasons being his compensation, with him saying, and I quote, "You kind of start thinking while you're working on your boss's third house if you're ever going to be able to buy a house." So those are the two main things, and I'm sure you can probably understand why those two particular issues might make the fact that you just bought a private jet look a little bit worse than it might otherwise. But again, like I mentioned earlier, just the video alone where they reveal this private jet, the way it's framed, the way it's handled, is just kind of bad. There are some real questionable moments, and I can see why it's kind of splitting up his audience. So we're going to take a look at this video, kind of form our own opinions, and go from there. Let's begin. Please subscribe.
So the April Fool's wasn't a joke? We actually bought a jet?
What started as a meme on WAN show when I discovered that a jet-propelled aircraft is not as expensive as I initially thought. I'm serious.
Okay.
Even Luke was shocked. So I started exploring various options, and my uncle's in aviation and has been for many years on the pilot side, mechanical side, and operations side.
Okay.
So when I started to explore that one aircraft that I was like, this is shockingly affordable.
Okay, so right off the bat, and really this is my main gripe with the video, I feel like Linus is being extremely disingenuous throughout this entire thing. Calling any form of private jet travel affordable is fucking laughable. No, look, I'm not...
I mean, I do see what he's getting at, because let's be honest, if you're traveling from New York to Mexico or some shit, then obviously it's, I don't know how much I would be in US, but even if it's like 100, that's still laughable, bro. Because if you're saying that air travel is not expensive, then hell, we should all buy private jets and then fly across wherever we want, right? Because with that logic, it would make total sense that people would not be able to travel in a sort of way. So the fact that this motherfucker just sat there saying, oh, it's plane travel is affordable. No, it isn't, bro. Like, what? A ticket to get to London to America for like 7 people or some shit costs over $1,000 or some shit, right? More, $1,000 or more even, give or take. Like, let's be honest here, that's not affordable. People make minimum wage in like certain areas just so they can afford bills. Like, even if the cost of living crisis in the UK, to say that air travel is this much like it's not expensive is fucking laughable, bro. Like, what are you on about saying, oh, air travel is not expensive? Shut the fuck. Like, what do you mean by that? Like, have you actually done your research, or are you just saying that to make it seem like you got a good deal of this fucking jet that you got for free, apparently? Buddy, get the fuck out of here with that, dude. Like, come on now. This guy cannot be
stupid.
serious,
I understand
bro.
what he's probably trying to say here, which is, hey, it's not a $70 million Gulfstream, but saying it's shockingly affordable might be one of the most out-of-touch things I've ever heard a YouTuber say.
So because of the non-disclosure agreement that we signed in order to purchase it,
Okay.
like, this whole world is...
Okay, what the fuck?
I can't actually tell you how much I paid.
There we go.
But what I can tell you is that if you Google it, it's less than that. And the second thing that I can tell you is that with a little bit of girl math, $0.
Oh, fuck's sake.
I would have been crazy not to buy it.
Oh, right.
What type of fucking maths are you doing? That jet costs like 5 million. There's no way you got it for $0. What type of math is this shit? Buddy, I'm doing like supported internship and I'm doing maths, and nothing in that says that I can get a jet stream, a fucking Gulfstream, whatever the fuck that jet is, for $0, bro. Like, what the fuck? There is, the only way you can get something for free is if you like sold your soul or some shit, or you got sponsored. That's it, bro. Or you probably rented that shit for like $1,000 a month or something, right? There is no way that this situation has got nothing, like, there's no way you got this jet for free. I don't believe that shit, right? Like, show us proof that you actually bought this jet for free, and then I'll believe you. I'll happily make a separate video being like, I was wrong about Linus Tech Tips and all this, right? And I want to see this math you're doing, bro. Like this girl math or some shit better be like some next level tier. Because if that makes sense to get a free jet, hell, I want to know this guy's method of doing it, because I want a free car and like a free house and all this shit, right? Because if that method works, then hell, we should all do it if that makes sense, right? Like, what's the point in that? At this point, buddy, just stop yourself, dude. Like, you're digging a bigger hole for your other audience than ever. That's all I'm gonna say.
Alright, so this is where we really get into the kind of bullshit I'm talking about. Again, trying to say that you are spending $0, that you're losing money if you don't buy a private jet, is unfucking believable. Also, the whole if you Google it, it's less than that thing sounds kind of silly to me. Oh, it's not the exact number you threw up on screen? Oh my goodness, it's almost like that's how buying any vehicle is. They're all kind of priced differently. No, but like, seriously, once he starts to explain what he means by it cost $0, it just gets real eye-rolly for me. Like, I don't think I've mentioned this yet, but the title of the video where they reveal the plane is "The Gamer Jet is Real and it cost $0. Like, whatever, dude.
The engines were all on a service program from the previous owner that entitles you to completely refurbish them to effectively 0 hours brand new once they reach end of life. All 3 of those were done right before we purchased it. It's effectively brand new from an engine standpoint. Each of those refurbishments is worth anywhere from $1.1 to $1.2 million.
Each? And there's 3 of them?
The jet was also in for a 12-year service And because my uncle's a shrewd negotiator, he put together a purchase contract for us where it was guaranteed that once it came out of that 12-year service, it was at Dassault specification. That 12-year service effectively cost as much or more than the rest of our purchase price.
So what you're saying is you got the plane for free?
So when I'm done with it, with the condition that it's in, with some of the special features that it has, for example, it is one of the few 900Bs on Earth that has a medevac kit. When it's time to divest of this thing, I should be able to get back what I paid and maybe even the bulk of what I spent operating it.
Okay, so to me, this seems like an extremely optimistic claim, especially if you're familiar with what it costs to operate, maintain, insure, and store a private jet.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, I'm not like an expert in shit like this, but basic intuition and also like from the research I could gather, this just seems like normal aircraft purchase procedure. From what I can tell, it is just normal.
Yeah, for people who genuinely don't know about crafts, aeroplanes and shit, I know a little bit, not as much. But I think that you're supposed to service these planes before you sell them. Like, with these planes, you have to, like, replace the engines and check the hardware and then service them every couple of years, you know? It's not like a car where you can get away with like 5 to 10 services and then be like, oh, the car runs fine and all this shit, right? Like, that's not the same thing with jets. Like, you have to service them every like couple of years or some shit. So like, whatever math he's doing, thinking that he's gonna get like, oh, I'm gonna get my money back after I'm finished with this jet and all this shit. Like, cool, I mean, you can be optimistic, but there's like a point in life where there wouldn't be like a choice or anything whatsoever, right? So at the end of the day, if this guy can get his money back, then yeah, he can get his money back. But to me, I don't know if that's possible. I mean, hey, it could be possible if he got his money back, then good for him. But to me, I just don't know about this, to be honest. Like, but then again, like I said before, I'm not an expert in aviation. I'm a guy that likes cars. That's it, pretty much. So yeah, I mean, I don't really get the logistics and the point in that.
To service your airplane in this kind of manner before you sell it, because if you don't, just like if you were selling a car that needed a major maintenance, you have to price that into the sales price. So I mean, like, he's the one who just bought the private jet, he probably knows a lot more about this than I do, but he could easily spend $1 million a year operating this jet. I don't really understand, like, where the idea is coming from that he's going to be able to make all of his money back. I don't think it'd be a stretch to say that he could make back what he bought the plane for, but to recoup a bulk of his operating costs, I don't see how that could be possible. Also, and maybe I'm just projecting here a bit, but I've made some purchases that I probably shouldn't have made in hindsight, and if I'm being honest with myself, this is how I always talked about them right after I made them, trying to convince myself and the people around me that it was the best purchase I could have ever made in my life. Do I know that's what Linus is doing? No, but to me, it sounds like something I've done before.
And I know that you were very opposed to the jet in the lead up to this.
I was very vocal against it.
But the way that the math works, it's a little bit of cash flow tied up, but we're not actually spending any money, which is so cool.
Okay, so I mean, like, again, I would really, really, really like to see this so-called math to where you are owning a fucking private jet and taking your family to Cabo in it, but you're somehow not spending.
Because if this method actually fucking works, why doesn't Jake Paul do it when he bought his jet? Why didn't Elon Musk use it when he bought this jet? When he got this jet? Why didn't Mike Tyson, Conor McGregor, Paddy Pimpler, all those famous celebrities and even tech YouTubers like Jerry Riggs Everything, or like, you know, right? Like, even with these tech YouTubers and everything else, right? Like, why didn't they use this math method of this, whatever this guy's math is doing this shit? Because there is no way this guy passed school, bro. That's all I'm gonna say. I want to know this type of math to be thinking that you can get a jet for $0. Like, you can't. And he said, like, oh, we got it for a non-disclosed amount. If you got it for a non-disclosed amount, then that means you technically didn't get it for free. Like, it doesn't make sense. When something's in non-disclosed, it means you paid for it, but you don't want to say how much it is. That's what paying in a non-disclosed amount means. Like, honestly, like, the fact that you're saying you got it for an undisclosed amount, and then, like, you saying, oh, I got this jet for free is insane. Like, if you haven't got it for free, just be honest about it. Like, what are we gonna do? Spread pitchforks and then march to your studio and then be like, with pitchforks and torches, being like, oh, Linus Tech Tips, you're a piece of shit. Oh, Linus, you lied to us, man. Like, you can afford a jet, but you can't afford houses for your people. Like, what? Like, just be honest, honestly. Like, honesty's the best policy. I don't get why the hell he'd have to lie about it, saying, oh, I need to get this jet done and all this shit. Like, it don't make sense, honestly, bro. Just be honest, please. Just tell the truth or some shit, please, bro. Honestly, it's not even that deep.
Any money. Like, seriously, unless there's just something he's not telling us, which he did say there was an NDA, this just doesn't make any sense. Private jet travel is the most expensive form of travel on the planet. Beyond, like, using a fucking super yacht, I guess, but nobody uses those to actually travel like that. It just doesn't seem like this could be possible.
I assumed that jet fuel would be inordinately expensive. It turns out that it's actually really similar to kerosene.
Okay.
And doesn't really cost that much more than regular fuel.
How much does it store, though?
It's just the sheer volume of it that you go through.
Okay.
With that said, I'm starting a family vlog. That'll be coming soon. And the first episode is going to be a trip to Cabo, where I treated mine and Yvonne's family.
He's starting a family channel and then he's going to take his family to thing. Cool. Such affordable plane travel, bro. So affordable, bro. Like, holy shit. You've even got me hooked. Hell, tell me your ways. Tell me your ways, Master Linus. I want to know how to get a jet for free without selling my soul and all this shit. Right? So, that definitely makes sense. Yeah, 100%, bro.
When we factor in that the fuel coming back from Mexico was half as much as we paid to go down.
Oh, whoa.
It actually cost less than buying like a first class ticket for everyone.
Okay, gonna go ahead and retract my statement earlier that him saying that private jet travel is shockingly affordable is the most tone-deaf thing I've ever heard a YouTuber say. This now holds the crown. Like, I'm sorry, but what was the expected reaction here? Oh, Linus, you should have led with this. The fuel that it costs to take 2 entire families on your private jet to a different country costs less than it would to just put them in first class? Well, now that you put it that way, why don't we all just get one? Like, holy shit, dude. First of all, this means literally nothing because fuel does not even account for like half of your operating cost to get a plane somewhere. It's usually like 30 to 40%. And 2, first class tickets are expensive as fuck. I put in some random dates and for 8 first class tickets, which I feel like
genuinely, this proves my point as I made during the start of the video. Like, departing flights for 2 stops, $17,114 for the first bit. Second bit, $20,500 to get to Horizon 8 to Alaska. 2 stops, right? 20,523. 20,000, 22,000, 22, 22, 23, 25. And then $27,002 some shit, right? If we all made that much money, this much money, right? If we all made that much money, it would make sense to make it affordable. It would be affordable because all of us would be able to like travel around, right? But it's not affordable, right? Air travel was never meant to be affordable unless you're like on Spirit Air or like Jet2 Holidays or some shit, right? Or if you do a baggage deal or some shit, I get that. But in general, this shit had me so fucked up. Like, the fact you're saying this number on screen now, this actual number. Hang on, let me circle this shit. This actual number is affordable. If this is affordable, then hell, if this is affordable, then like I'm going to question my life's choices. Like, there is no way in history that you're calling this shit to be as much as affordable as it is. Like, genuinely, like, who is calling air travel affordable is a literal fucking joke. Like, what
is
the
a
fuck
safe,
are you
if
about?
not
You
low
actually
assumption how many people would go when you say you took
Genuinely
2 different
tone deaf
families.
with
From
this shit.
Vancouver to Cabo is 20 grand. I found a fuel calculator online, and while it's probably not perfect, it estimates that it would cost you about $14,000 to $16,000 in fuel to
per
get from
hour.
Vancouver to Cabo.
Alright, I want to do some math here. I want to do some maths here. Hang on, let me get my calculator out for a second. So if the thing is 1,675. Okay, cool. Sorry about that. Where were we? Oh yeah. If the jet costs $1,675 per hour, times that by how much is a trip to Mexico? I don't really know. Let's say if the flight time was 8 hours, right? That would be $13,400 for genuine flight for a Falcon 900 fuel run one, right? Are you still gonna say this shit's affordable? Be honest with me now. Are you going to say this shit is affordable? Hell no, you aren't, because it isn't, Linus. It isn't, Linus. It's not affordable. Like I said before, it was never meant to be affordable. I don't get what was your point saying like, we got this jet for free and air travel's affordable, all this shit. Like, what was the point in that? You didn't prove your point. You just proved August reduct. You basically proved his point. It's never affordable. God.
And back. Which, I mean, like, I guess if you just had to get to Cabo and your only other option was first class and you only had to pay for fuel, yeah, I guess if you ignore the fact that you had to buy a $5 million airplane for that to even be an option, sure, you're saving money, but that's not the actual story. Like I said, fuel only accounts for about 40% of your operating cost when flying an airplane, which if you're paying 15 grand in fuel, and that's 40% of your total cost, that means that his actual cost to get his plane to Vancouver to Cabo and back was really probably about $35,000 to $40,000. And that's just to get there. So I mean, like, it feels very disingenuous to be like, oh, well, I mean, fuel is technically cheaper than the most expensive plane ticket you could buy, so we're saving money. No, you're not. You've got to pay the pilots, you've got to pay insurance, you've got to pay the countries that you're flying into, over, and out of to be in their airspace. You've got to account for the engine hours you're adding to the plane. He was real happy about the fact that somebody else paid that $1 million per engine for the overhaul. If one single engine overhaul cost $1 million, imagine how expensive the cost is to operate that engine per flight hour. Spoiler alert, it's a lot! Like, look, personally, I don't really agree with it, but I can't make myself lose sleep over every single super rich guy who buys a private jet. If I did, I don't think I'd ever sleep again. So I mean, like, if this guy really wants to buy a private jet, I'm not going to be picketing outside of his office, but what I do think is pretty shitty is buying a private jet because you want one. Obviously, nobody gets in the fucking market for a private plane unless you just really want one, and then going onto your YouTube channel being like, oh, well, it actually didn't cost me $1. It's super cheap, it's super affordable. Like, just to be honest, like, come on, you're buying fucking private planes, you've kind of lost, like, oh, I'm just one of you guys look. Just be honest. It's more respectable. It makes you look better. Trying to frame this in a way where you're like, look, if you only consider one expense, this is basically cheaper than taking my family on a nice vacation, is pretty questionable. Okay.
I feel it's a good time to talk about this.
Whoa.
Another major maintenance cost center on aircraft is the landing gear. So rough landings, total landings, and time all contribute to how often this stuff needs to be overhauled and checked. Well, guess what? As part of my girl math $0 plane, all three were completely redone months ago as part of a 12-year check. I'm talking the whole plane goes up on struts or on donor landing gear. They completely take apart the whole thing, new seals, new everything, new anti-skid, make sure everything's working perfectly, and they throw it back on. So, once again, when we go to divest of this asset, it's a business term for flip this, someone is basically buying a turnkey, ready to go,
so professional.
900.
So again, like, Linus, you are the one who got the turnkey plane. You are the one who bought the plane with all the service that had just been done to it. Are the services that you'll have to do when you sell this plane going to be as major as the ones that the previous owner had to do before you bought it? No, but again, it just kind of feels like he's being disingenuous when he's explaining how much this plane is going to cost him and how much he's going to be able to make back once he sells it. Dude is literally explaining how, like, every part of this plane had to be rebuilt before he bought it, and is seemingly like, yeah, but that's not going to happen to me. And I mean, yeah, it's...
Yeah. Another thing is, I want to say, when he said, oh, I got this plane for free and it was fully serviced and shit, if the plane, they have to be serviced, by the way. Like, if they weren't serviced and it was run down and shit, no one would be buying that, because it would be, one, unsafe, two, under any flight investigation, under any flight law or some shit, it would it would be off the air, which means you cannot basically fly this thing. And third of all, like, no one would buy that shit, because let's be honest, they would rather buy a freshly brand new pristine jet than have one that's barely serviced or some shit. Like, that's how society is, you know what I mean? Like, that's how it is, Linus. Like, I don't get why the fuck you're saying you got this jet for free. That's clinically impossible. And again, I want to see this fucking girl math that you do, saying, oh, with my girl math, if I did this, take away that, times the percentage of this, whatever, I got this jet for free, pretty much. Like, shut the fuck up, bro. Like, get the fuck out of here with this shit. You're not fooling anybody. Just be honest. That's all I'm saying here now.
Not going to, because he's not going to put thousands of flight hours onto this plane before he sells it, but he will be flying it. So he will absolutely have to do major maintenance between now and the time he sells it, and likely some stuff to actually get it sold. I mean, like, come on, dude. Do you really think that somebody did millions of dollars worth of maintenance out of the goodness of their own heart? No, it's because nobody would have bought it if they didn't. I don't know. It just seems to me like he's overstating, like, how much money he's made off the fact that the plane had a massive service before he bought it. I mean, it's just like anything mechanical. Every time you use the plane, you are just working towards that having to happen again. I don't know, maybe I'm just misunderstanding him, but to me, it sort of seems like he's overstating the value that he's received from this plane being serviced right before he bought it, and kind of understating the fact that it would have had to have been done anyways. Like, from the way I'm understanding this, he's kind of treating this service as, like, something he's going to be able to extract from the purchase price and, like, make back almost, when from the way I understand this kind of stuff, it's all priced in. Planes have to have this shit done. Regulations are completely different. It's not like a car where you can just ignore getting an oil change for 20,000 miles. You have to do these things for these planes to be illegal to fly. This stuff is priced in, and I feel like he's treating it like it's not for his audience. Anyways, the rest of the video is just them touring the plane pretty much. Not a whole lot more to do with my main gripe, which again is me just thinking that he's sort of being disingenuous with his audience on purpose. And I don't know, I'm interested to see how this plays out in the long term. Like I mentioned earlier, it seems like this has his audience pretty much split. A lot of people feel very strongly about private jet usage, and And I mean, for good reason. It's literally like the worst thing you could do as an individual for the environment beyond like owning a super yacht. It's one of those things where if you're like regularly chartering a private jet, and especially if you just outright own one, you've kind of got to admit to yourself that you are prioritizing your lifestyle, your convenience, over the health of the planet, which, you know, is not super cool. But, you know, at the same time, a lot of people just don't really give a shit. Again, for me personally, my main issue with this video is just the way this video is framed. To seriously try and sell to your audience with a straight face the idea that owning a private jet is not going to cost you anything is truly absurd. Like, genuinely, that's kind of crazy. It doesn't even seem fitting to call that mental gymnastics. It would be an understatement. Again, to me, this just seems like a guy who really wanted a private jet and now does not want to disclose to his audience the insanity that is the reality of the operating expenses. I mean, come on, dude, just be honest. Once you own a private jet with gold-plated sinks, there's really no more hiding the fact that you're swimming in it. I just don't understand why this video was made the way it was. Well, guys, what are your thoughts? Like I've kind of been saying, I don't really believe that Linus believes that this is a $0 private jet. Like, I can't make myself believe that a guy who's been able to build like a business empire truly believes that he's going to be able to own and operate a private jet for no real cost. That is literally impossible. Otherwise, everybody would have a private fucking jet. So I just don't really understand why he feels the need to say this to his audience. It's just kind of weird. Like, it's 2026, everybody knows that YouTubers of this size have unbelievable amounts of money. Why not just be upfront about it? I don't really get it. Maybe it's just like a rite of passage. Maybe eventually you have to become out of touch with your audience. That's why I savor every moment I have with you guys. Who knows when it'll be gone. See ya.
Yeah, that's the video pretty much. I'm gonna need to take a break from this bullshit, honestly. Like, this guy Linus Tech Tips is pissing me off. But yeah, I'll be right back and I'll tell you my final thoughts. Right, with the Linus Tech Tips situation, these are my thoughts. Like, the fact that you're saying this jet cost you $0 and you had to do like some bullshit math to fucking bring this shit, right? It makes total sense. Like, it doesn't make sense to me, because if this method gets you a jet, then I want to learn that method too, right? Like, no bullshit. I want to know how to get a private jet for free. Because if this motherfucker can get a private jet for free, then I'm pretty sure that everyone else should be able to get one, right? Like, and the fact that this guy is claiming that, oh, I don't agree with Taylor Swift's private jet usage and all this shit. Like, you full on bashing her about it. Like, about it. And then you end up buying a private jet yourself. Seriously, like, what was, like, that's being a hypocrite, isn't it? Like, you're basically saying that, oh, you can't, I don't like her way of abusing jet travel with this, and then you end up buying a jet and then saying, oh, I'm going to start a family vlog channel where I'm going to take my family to Mexico and all this shit. Whereas the first video, like, you're literally gonna, apparently, with this free jet, get jack shit out of it. Like, you're probably not gonna make any money back of it. And the fact that this guy is saying, like, oh, jets need to be serviced. Yeah, no shit, they need to be serviced. Like, it's like what August said, right? It's like what August said. Like, it's not just like a car where you can run it. You can get away with running the parts from it for 10 miles and all this shit. And then, like, you know, basically be like, oh, stop there and all this shit, right? So, like, it's not like you can run a car for, like, miles and all this. Like, no, that's not how jets work. They're not the same thing. Whatever that person tells you, they're really not. Like, at the end of the day, it's just plain stupid. Like, just be honest. Like, just actually be honest. I don't understand why are these massive YouTubers going around saying, oh, I'm just like you guys. Like, you're not relatable anymore, bro. Like, don't ever say, like, oh, don't you ever say, like, oh, I'm relatable like you guys, dude. Like, no, you're not. You have a private jet in the background, bro. Just shut up. At this point, I'm never expecting shit from this guy again. That's all I'm gonna say, bro. Like, this is absolutely a joke. I don't know if this is some sick April Fool's joke or some shit. Like, yeah, like, I don't know what the fuck's his problem. And the fact that you're saying he got it for a non-disclosed amount, you didn't get it for free. So I don't get why the hell you're saying in that thumbnail and title, oh, I bought this jet for $0 and all this shit. When in reality, you got it for a non-disclosed amount. That's not $0 by the time of it, right? You didn't technically get it for free. Like, dumbass. Like, you see what I mean? Like, this guy, bro. But, like, yeah, like, next time, Linus, if you're watching this, just be honest. I don't get why. We all know you're swimming with money with these sponsorships and the brand and the stuff you sell online and all this shit. So why don't you just admit it? Like, that's all we asked. All we need is a bit of honesty, and you technically didn't give it to his fucking video. Like, holy fucking shit, dude. But, like, yeah, like, just be honest, please. Just don't do this shit. But yeah, like, that's gonna be the end of the video. If you guys enjoy it, please smash like, subscribe to the channel. Let me know in the comments down below, what do you guys think about the Linus Tech Tip situation? Do you agree, disagree, blah blah, whatever? Let me know in the comments down below. Without further ado, guys, smash like, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys in the next video. But until next time, guys, stay safe, stay healthy, and peace out.
It's not anything special around in the way. I'll be and I'll be out in the middle. Oh yeah, and learn to be.